Just because a new year is a few months old isn't a reason to drop that New Year's resolution. Hi, I'm Mary Beth Tyson, psychotherapist and hypnotherapist, and today we'll be interviewing Grace Purusha about her fascinating book, The 5 Essential Laws of Eating.
And I'm Eric Richter, publisher and editor of Maui Vision magazine. Welcome to Maui-Well-Being. And today we'll also be sampling one of Grace's delicious recipes from her book.
And in our Around the Island segment, we'll be stopping by Joy's Place, a tasty restaurant off South Kihei Road. So stay tuned.
Aloha! Today we're with Grace Purusha. Grace is a nationally renowned health coach and natural medicine clinician who trains dedicated students to make health shifts and achieve high levels of vitality. She motivates and inspires people to do what it takes to change their lives by changing their habits.
Today, she's going to share secrets from her book, The 5 Essential Laws of Eating, a simple approach to a lean, strong, energized body. Can it really be that simple, Grace?
Actually, it can be that simple. I'm not going to say it's that easy necessarily, because the hardest thing that anyone has to do often is change the way they eat, because we get very locked into certain things that we like and we don't want to give them up. But yes, the path to health through the 5 laws of eating is very simple, which is one of my attractions to it.
So what exactly are the 5 laws of eating?
Good question, Eric. The 5 laws of eating are actually the ways that all animals in the universe eat except human beings. So that's why it's a good pathway. And if you look closely at animals, you will see that all animals eat their food natural, in the natural state. They eat their food whole. It's not ground up and pulverized and made into smoothies. They eat their food alive. They don't cook it at all. And clean. Nothing's showered with sugar, salt, and oil. And they eat it simple, one food at a time. So those are the 5 laws of eating.
So let's talk about that first law, natural. And we see quotes, natural, on containers of food and packaging. What do we need to know to eat natural?
I love the law of natural because it has 3 really catchy factors that describe it. One is a natural food comes in its own wrapper, like a banana or an apple or a papaya, or even if you're not a vegetarian, if you eat flesh food, it just comes in its own wrapper. There's nothing artificial around it. It has no ingredients list, a natural food, and it has no expiration date. So it's the food that appears in the world in the state that whatever is the maker of all things brings things into the world. So it's just how it appears naturally, like sunflower seeds would be in their seed. They would not be toasted and roasted and salted and sugared. It would be just a natural sunflower seed.
So your second law says that food should be alive. What do you mean by that?
Well, alive food means that it hasn't been cooked. And so the big movement right now in raw foods is to not cook your food as much as possible. I am not a raw foodist. I'm not an anythingist. I do happen to very much enjoy lightly steamed vegetables. However, it's important that people understand that the law of aliveness refers to the enzymes that are still present in food before it's cooked. And those enzymes are the key that unlock the nutrients to be assimilated and absorbed by your body. And so it's very important that we not overcook our food, because then we lose the enzymes. We also lose in the cooking essential fatty oils and also amino acids, which are very sensitive to heat. So you want to strive to eat your food as much as you enjoy raw, like salads, but a lot of people, they're not going to eat a lot of vegetables if they're not steamed. So cook them lightly for 2 minutes or 3 minutes while they're still crispy, which shows that the collagen and enzymes and all the good stuff's still there. Once they get soggy and lilt over, then that stuff is gone. So that's a really good, to follow eating your food as undercooked as possible is the basic guideline.
So even if you eat meat or fish, you would want your fish seared or your meat
Exactly.
raw.
And I am not a vegetarian, although some people have some opinions about that, me as a health coach, but I just follow what my body guides me to eat, which is not chips and tacos and tortillas, because some people say, well, my body guides me to eat you know, cereal and Cheetos and things like that. However, according to the 5 laws of eating, what your body guides you to eat. If my body says, you know what, we need some flesh protein, I just answer to that. And different people need different things. And I think that I direct people to follow their own guidelines, their own, make an exploration and a discovery to find out what really works for you.
I know the 3rd law is simple. And
Actually, I like to do the 3rd one next as whole.
Whole.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So whole is very obvious. To eat your food in the state that it came in. So that's very closely connected to natural. So the less that you grind and chop and pulverize and put into smoothies and process into flour, the more you can eat your food whole, the more you're going to get of the original divine intelligence that was put into that, that item. So let's just take, for example, a nut. So how many nuts would you eat if you had to crack open the nut and start that process? And how many nuts maybe you'd have 10. If you had to open up 10 almonds, you might go, that's enough almonds. And you know, that's just about the amount that would be a right serving of nuts. They say that 12 almonds is a serving of protein. And so once you start grinding up nut butter and then putting it on like chips or bread or crackers, you can eat a lot of nut butter. And you're not meant to eat that much nut butter. It's not in its whole state. And the other thing that's interesting about whole is that there is a intelligence in an orange, say. And that orange, there's something about eating it with that white stuff around the outside, which has a very rich supply of bioflavonoids in it. But once you start juicing that orange up, you could maybe have 5 oranges. But you weren't meant to have 5 oranges at a time. You're meant to eat 1 orange at a time. And so
what happens to the body if you do have 5
well,
oranges in
it's
the
a
juice?
lot of sugar. And some people can drink a whole 10-ounce glass of orange juice, and you weren't meant to have that much sugar in your blood at one time. And so it's often compared to a watch. Like a watch has many, many components, and all different, and food too, many different vitamins and minerals and different kind of trace minerals. And once you start separating things out, like in supplements, you no longer, there's no like vitamin C trees or coenzyme Q10 trees or trace mineral tree. Everything's like in this magical, mysterious, divine, intelligently composed orange. And there's no way to separate that out and have it be what it would be if it was whole.
That was fascinating. When we come back, Grace is going to tell us about laws 4 and 5, and then she'll demonstrate for us some quick and easy healthy food preparations that you can do yourself. So stay tuned.